out the boards and everything. So, so it's a lot of effort being put into this to try to mount this course to keep things going. The groups that they were most interested in were continuing students, what you're going to be doing this summer, graduating students who are applying for OPT, what you're going to be doing this summer and what your plans are, and then other students and what their plans are, continuing students, what their plans are for summer. So one of the things I wanted to tell you, and then I'm just going to kind of take kind of questions about this, and we're going to be sending out a survey to all of you so that we can better understand how many people are in each situation. One of the things that the faculty are working with is, as I understand it, is VACE is working with the faculty for OPT opportunities to tide over students until COVID lifts. That may mean directed research or online courses or seminars or technical competitions. The faculty this morning were talking about some technical competition that could be happening that might qualify as volunteer work so that the OPT doesn't lapse. So faculty are very aware of students that are graduating that may be on OPT and worried that they can't get a job in time. So Kelly, the director of VACE, or the associate vice, the associate chairs, one of the associate chairs, is very working with the faculty and the chairs very closely to come up with programming for students for this summer. So like I said, we'll be surveying you. We're going to be sending out a survey to students graduating in May, and also students who are on OPT, a CPT in May, to see if there's something that, how they can be involved. Nora may have more information about this, but this is kind of hot off the press this morning, the faculty talking to VACE. I don't know, Nora, if you want to jump in with any information that you might know about what is happening for summer opportunities.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much, Diane, for mentioning that. Hi, everyone. My name is Nora. I'm the Director of Master Student Affairs for the VACE office. And for those of you that are on this call that are graduating either this semester or in the summer, may have received an email from me asking them what their interest is for, if they are interested in research. So Dr. Dean Goulis is trying to get a sense of what kind of research students are interested in, whether it's direct, like Diane mentioned, whether it's directed research or any other kind of opportunity that you might be interested in for the summer. So thank you for those of you have already responded, and I see some of the names here. So some of you have already responded to that poll or that survey, so I appreciate that. And so we're hoping to kind of be able to roll out some opportunities for you, for those of you that are going to be on OPT and want to kind of need some time in between as you're trying to figure out your options. If you do have questions regarding OPT or questions about whether, you know, how that would work, I encourage you to just send us an email at masters@vace.usc.edu, or just come into our walk-in and advising hours. We do virtual advisement every day from 10 to 2, or you can fill out an online form to set up an appointment with one of the VACE advisors. So you're welcome to do that, but certainly, you know, as you're kind of trying to figure out your options, because every single individual student is in a very particular place, right? So everybody has to be kind of supported and coached through individually to make sure that you understand your options, right? So everyone has a different financial situation, a different housing situation, a different graduation situation. So we want to make sure that you have that individual attention to be able to kind of address your options. So we encourage you to kind of come to advisement for that. But if you haven't had a chance to fill out the survey, please go ahead and do so.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And again, let me just reiterate that the faculty are, we know it's a dynamic situation, and the faculty are very involved with making sure that students are somehow accommodated in all of this. I just wanted to introduce the other people on this at this meeting. So you know Kathy, and I don't know if you know Sam. Some of you know Sam Graves. She's waving there. She's an advisor in our office, ECE advisor. Ryan Pineda is in our in our office as well. Gabby Garcia is online, and she's an advisor in our office as well. So any one of these people are here for you and can answer your questions, whether they're academic, or will probably punt any visa issue related questions to the VASE office, but we can help. Between all of us, we can really help answer any questions that you might have. So Sam, do you want to take over?
Yeah. So thanks all for joining. I'm glad we have this opportunity to do a Zoom. Even if we can't see you, it's a nice way to connect and hopefully answer a lot of questions that all of you have. And thanks to Kathy for working with our student leaders to put this together and already field some questions. So I'm going to go through some of the things that we understand are things that have already been brought up. And then we'll have time, at the end to ask any other questions you might have. You can unmute yourself, or you can write a question in the chat box, and we will try to get through those. So I'm going to share my screen, just a few short slides to cover some of the topics that folks had brought up. To try to help answer some questions. So I know a big thing that all of us advisors have gotten a lot of questions about is the pass, no pass option, and no record option. And, that's kind of morphed over the last month as the university received feedback. So I'm going to refer to the latest, there's been a few iterations of updates to this, but there was an April 6th memo that you would have received over email from Dean Yortsis that addressed the pass, no pass option and how it relates to graduate students in the Viterbi school. And so the rule is for Viterbi grad students that you do need to have a B or higher grade or higher to opt for the pass option. But you have until May 27th to make the change on web registration to change your letter grade to the pass, no pass option. The registrar's office has also come out with some recent updates to this. And basically the recommendation is to hold off and not change hold off for now and see what your final letter grade is. And then, around May 20th is when that grade should be posted on My USC. And then from there, then you can make the decision whether to keep your letter grade or switch it to a pass, or switch it to a no pass. A no pass would show as an NP grade on your transcript, but it won't affect your GPA. You also have the option to choose the no record option, which would completely remove the course from your record, but know that there's no refund for that. So you did attend, but it just will remove it completely from your record. It won't be on your transcript. So know that is an option. I know we've gotten a lot of different questions about this. And I think it'll be up to you, the individual, depending on what your GPA situation is. If you're sitting at a 3.6, if you get an A- or better in a class, keep the letter grade. That's going to help boost up your GPA. But if, please know that you can refer to us advisors later in May or anytime between now and then to kind of decide, but you've got time for that. So, but again, there's no refund for the course if you get a no pass or if you opt to do the no record option. I know people have brought up the question about can the grade criteria be changed from B to a C? So if you got a C or a C plus, can that be changed to a pass option? The ruling is it's been decided between the dean and the faculty, many discussions, that the grade must be a B or better. That isn't something at this point that will be changed as far as we know. So strive to get that B or better. I mean, regardless, B's or better are what we would hope that you'd be striving for. And I think to be aware that the faculty are aware of these unprecedented times, that you're under undue stress dealing with a variety of factors. So it's not that they're going to be easy in their grading per se. However, if you're showing up, if you're participating, know they are going to really be taking that into consideration, and they really understand the the weight of this pass, no pass option. So I think it's important to, keep working hard, reach out to the faculty, try to attend office hours or reach out to make an appointment to get that extra help. I know there's been some of that that's been brought up to our attention, is that maybe some of you have had trouble getting a hold of faculty. We definitely are interested to hear more about that, and maybe if you can share privately, or if you feel comfortable in the chat box, or we can let us know, so that we can get the word out that we want to make sure that the faculty are getting back to you if you have concerns about where you stand in the class and if you don't feel like you're getting back to you promptly.
That's right. I just want to jump in here. If you're having a hard time getting in touch with the TA, you're having a hard time reaching a faculty, it's really important that you reach out to us. We can help. We can facilitate. We can grease the skids. We can help you get connected. So please feel free to reach out. I just wanted to kind of underline that. Thank you.
May I mention also something, Sam, about the no record, if that's okay?
Yes.
We did confirm with OIS that if an international student does choose the no record option, it will not count towards your full-time enrollment. So it's really important that international students understand that if they do the no record option, that it won't count towards their enrollment. Students, like Sam mentioned, there's been a lot of iterations, different memos and communication. So sometime this evening, we'll be sending out communication to all students, kind of highlighting some of these things that Sam has mentioned, as well as the deadlines and reiterating some of the reminders about making sure that you keep your final letter grade, and that you have until April 25th to keep your letter grade. And then after that, between May 20th and May 27th, after the grades have been posted, to change your grading option. And that's the best route to take for you students. So we'll be sending out a larger communication to students that kind of outline those things. But I really appreciate this summation, because this is a really great way to kind of capture some of the highlights there.
Perfect. Thanks, Nora. Thanks for the update on that. Yeah, so many layers to all of this. So we can come back to this if you've got questions. So I'll move on to the next topic that people brought up is, how to feel taking care of yourself if you're feeling isolated during this time, how to manage the stress. So I just wanted to point out some different resources that USC is currently offering. And hopefully they're things that you've seen come across your email, but just to further iterate them. So Mindfulness USC, I've actually been doing this myself. They have a parenting class on Thursdays that I've been doing for the last month. It's definitely been helpful. But they have a variety of they have currently these weekly group meetings or drop-in sessions that you can attend. And they'll give kind of a brief summary of mindfulness. And all in all, it's a practice that really can help with managing stress, feeling better, especially during this time. And also on their website, they also have a mindfulness or Mindful USC mobile app, which is also something I would encourage you to check out, maybe download on your phone. Some things that are good to have, skills moving forward in life, not just during this time. Also, the Korchak Center for Learning, I know they have a longer name. They've been offering a series of different workshops over the last month to help students with dealing with stress, both emotionally, but also, related to coursework and being, switching over to this online environment. So I definitely recommend you check out the Korchak Center online. And they have, like I said, a variety of on-demand workshops that you can watch at any point. But then they have some virtual Zoom sessions upcoming in the next week or two, which all have to do with kind of how to prep for finals. So I'd encourage you to check those out. And then, another key piece of wellness, physical activity. Hopefully, I know we're supposed to stay at home, still good to get out if you can safely, to walk, run, get some fresh air and sunlight. but the Rec Sports actually is offering a variety of they call them Group X classes on Zoom. So anybody with your USDA credentials can, I think, log in. They have Zumba, hip hop dance class, a variety of exercise classes that you can do. And they have a schedule on their website. So I really encourage folks to check that out. Maybe if you've got roommates, you can do it together, or, you know, get your friends on FaceTime, you can do a workout class together. So I think during this time, it's important to stay connected, hopefully with your USC counterparts that may either be still here in LA or with family, certainly. I know it's a stressful time. So hopefully does anybody else have any other wellness tips they'd like to add? Okay, well, I'll move forward. So Diane touched on this in terms, and that's been a big question about kind of options for students having concerns about maybe, you know, limited courses being offered, whether or not they'll get into a course that they want. So yes, so there are summer courses, not as many, but offered in EE and other engineering departments. That you can consider taking a class this summer if perhaps you're staying put here in LA, or you're not, you know, not going to be doing an internship or not traveling home. Also, reach out to, you know, an EE professor that you've had. You could possibly do a DR this summer to earn EE 590 credit. So you'll need to talk to the professor first. This is the EE 590. Could potentially count towards your degree. Talk to your advisor too, definitely for the MS EE degree. Some of the other more specialized degrees, typically you can have some DR credit. Talk to your advisor, but also, you know, reach out to an EE professor, and given the situation, they might be able to work with you on a special DR project over the summer to earn academic credit, or maybe just to volunteer. Also, you know, this summer, many of our students, you know, are international. This is, if you've got a bit more time on your hands, this is a great time to, you know, to further work on your English speaking skills. I've reached out to ALI. They're still working on what they're going to be offering this summer. But they do offer free options. They're called conversation groups, as well as some workshops they're planning to offer to students over the summer. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll try to forward on any information once it becomes more firm. But that's something I would encourage you to consider doing this summer. And we've also put a call out to our faculty to get some input on maybe some software skills, the things that you can brush up on this summer. What our faculty really recommend. So we'll send out a list once we kind of get that more formalized from our faculty. There's also, you might have heard of Khan Academy or lynda.com. These are great resources online that offer free, a variety of free learning options just to further help round out your resume, or maybe give you a chance, you know, you've got time to kind of dive into something that you're interested in. And also Viterbi Career Connections, our career office dedicated for Viterbi students. They have information that's, you know, resources that are dedicated to international students. So for students who, you know, maybe started in January, you know, this coming fall would be when you're going to be, you know, really hitting that, you know, internship search. Good to get a jump start on it this summer. So definitely check out the Viterbi Career Connections this summer. And then the last point was what Diane was mentioning about possible directed research options for our graduating students who are going to be on OPT this summer. There may be options for that. But I know the VASE office, they're looking at possible short courses and collecting feedback. So there may be some other things coming down the pipeline as well.
Sam, I just wanted to add that in talking to the faculty chairs this morning, I asked about expanding certain classes online, like EE 559 is offered in the summer, but it may be full. What does that mean anymore? And depending on our resources for TAs and help, and if it's a lab, you know, EE 560 versus 559 versus 450, we're trying to accommodate all students. So if you want to take a class, I would urge you to put your name on the waiting list at My Viterbi for declearance, request declearance, and if it's full, it'll pop you onto a waiting list. This is how we we judge the demand of our courses. So don't be afraid to put your name on a waiting list. It is a true waiting list. And we're in talks right now, since everything now is virtual and remote, that there should be no limit to many of our classes. And so we anticipate opening up classes. So I urge you, please, to go to the waiting list, and so that we know that you're out there and what the demand is. I just wanted to add one more free thing. Coursera, of course, you know about that. It's a fabulous, also free online learning platform that can be added as well. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I can't see the chat while I'm doing this, but we will definitely get to any comments on the chat. And I think this is my last slide I was going to share, and then we'll open up to questions. But just to reiterate, I know many of our students have already registered for fall courses, but we did send out an email with instructions on March 31st. So please go back and check your email if you haven't registered yet. It has a variety of information. Always a hot topic question, but yeah, you won't be able to register for any CS classes until later in August. That's when August 17th is when declearances will open up for CS. However, in the meantime, if you are kind of building your schedule for fall, and maybe there's an ISE, especially if you're an MSEE student and your course plan is more flexible, you do need to have to get approval for any non-EE course that you take. So now would be the time, as you're kind of looking at what's being offered, to put in a special request form on the ECE website to request approval for any non-EE course, so that you can get it pre-approved. And then at a later date, when other departments are giving out declearances, you can put in your request for the course, and you know that it's already gotten the blessing from the EE department to be applied towards your degree. So I just wanted to drive home those few things. And I know students are definitely registering, but really encourage you to, get registered, get secured in some seats in some courses now. You have until the third week of the fall to add and drop classes, but better to secure seats in some classes, because as you know, later in the summer, once our new students arrive, they'll be registering. So better to take advantage of having priority now. So that's my last bit of my piece. Then I'll open up to see the chat box and stop my screen share. Great. So I'll just go down the list with some of these comments on the chat box. Somebody had a question about chances of getting a CS course which are cross-listed. Chances are usually pretty good. I mean, our course are, CS 455, CS I think 561 are courses that are cross-listed. Our continuing students definitely get into those classes. It's just important that when the declearance for CS opens up on their designated date, so it's August 17th for fall, and I can't remember the date, it's on their website. There's a date in May where it will open up for any summer CS courses. You'll want to put in your declearance. So yeah, if it's a CS cross-listed course, no need to do a special request pre-approval. We will treat that as an EE course. And
let me jump in right there. If there are courses that are not cross-listed, CS 570 or CS 402 or CS 567, the machine learning course, if there are those courses that you're waiting on, send me an email and ask, and then I will have my chair talk to their chair and see what their policy will be for opening classes. Again, because room capacity is not an issue, but there may be other things at play here for opening up classes. But if we know demand, I can always bring that forward. I don't know what the decision will be, but at least the faculty will be hearing what the demand is, and that's how we assess this.
One of the questions was, I think when we were, Diane, you were talking about possibly adding more seats. The student asked, were we talking about EE 590 to accommodate more students that is at 45 right now in summer?
559. 559. Yeah, this is one of the ones that I spoke to our chair this morning about possibly accommodating more students. So please put your name on a wait list, because they always want to know, well, how many more students do we are interested in this? And I'll always refer back to the wait list. So this is the one of the ones that is a possibility for opening up. EE 450 is also one. EE 457 is also one for opening up in the summer. 560, Professor Puvada is trying to accommodate everyone, but that's complicated, as you know, because you have to have equipment. You have to have lab equipment, but the chair is on it. We're really trying to make this happen.
Gabby looked it up, but yeah, for CS, it'll be May 4th that the CS department will open up declarance requests for summer CS courses for non-CS students. One student mentioned that they missed, there was a CPT information session. I'm assuming, I know OIS has been doing a variety of group advising sessions. So I'm not sure if this was a VASE or if this was a CPT or an OIS CPT information session. But the student's asking, are there video or resources that I can access, or should I talk to the VASE advisor directly then? Still have concerns about CPT in this special situation. Is that something Nora or Patty can refer to?
Yeah, certainly. I also just want to quickly introduce Patty Reinhardt. She's our senior VASE advisor as well in our office. And what I encourage you, since you have a special situation, I encourage you just to come to one of our VASE walk-in advising anytime between 10 and 2 p.m. And or you can set up an appointment. And you can do this at Viterbi at our website, viterbigrad.usc.edu. That's the easiest thing. If you want to just communicate via email, you can do that too, and you can email us at masters@vase.usc.edu, and either email or come and meet with an advisor. That would be the best way. And of course, this is all via Zoom.
And Nora, since we're on this topic, I also got a question from a student about the program extension info session hosted on April 17th. Is that recorded, or how can they, get information from it if they missed that info session?
Yeah, that's that particular information session is actually hosted through the through OIS, the Office of International Services. So I'm not sure if it's actually recorded. I would just recommend that you can email them at ois.usc.edu and ask for that recording or the link. I'm not too sure. They're not really keen on recording their sessions, so it's more likely than not that they're not recording it. But certainly, as a Viterbi student, you can contact one of us to kind of go over any questions regarding program extensions, or contact OIS directly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and just to add on to what Nora said about those Zoom sessions that OIS holds, they do list upcoming sessions on their website, and they also include upcoming sessions in their newsletter. So you probably get that in email. Just kind of scroll down and look at the dates. They do add future dates of like upcoming workshops. So the newsletter, OIS newsletter, and then the OIS website will have dates for workshops.
Thank you, Patty. So I think we have a couple more questions in the chat room. Do we want to just continue on from there?
Yeah, I can try to, I'm trying to make sure I'm catching them all. So one student mentioned about switching into the PhD program of electrical engineering. What I would encourage you to do is maybe shoot Diane an email to discuss that offline, just to discuss, what your timeline is and how that matches up with application deadlines. So yeah, we definitely have master students that successfully transition from our master's into our PhD, but Diane would be a great resource as she advises our PhD students in the department. One student asked, will online classes taught at I assume other schools count as course equivalents, be accepted for subject credit? That's a good question. Generally, it's rare that we have master students taking classes elsewhere after they've enrolled at USC. Diane or Nora, would you like to chime in on that?
Yeah, so students cannot bring in transfer coursework once you matriculate at USC in the master's program. Michael, hi Michael, it's Diane. So if you're referring to your undergrad physics course, that you can certainly do a pre-approval form for that for the undergraduate credit, but master's coursework cannot be transferred in once you're admitted to the MSEE program and you matriculate. And as a PDP student, it's already assumed that you will matriculate soon. So transferring course, and for PDPs, students cannot transfer in coursework. So I hope that answers your question.
Next question relates to our placement exams that we offer for 4 of our 400 level classes. So they wanted to know whether there would be a placement exam for EE 450 in fall 2020. Yeah, we plan to still offer our placement exams in August. So we only offer placement exams in August and January every year. So those will, as far as I know, go as planned in August. The format might be slightly different. We'll have to just see where we're at with, you know, you know, what's going on in the world and social distancing. But yeah, placement exams will still go on as planned in August, and more information will be sent out once we have dates in place and there's a, you know, an official sign up for those. So one student asked about taking a course from another school that does need D clearance. I would want to consider the course into my degree. Do I still need to fill out a special request form? So, so yeah, if the course is not part of your prescribed degree program, so let's say if you're an MS Fine student, MS in Financial Engineering, students do take classes from the Marshall School, but if there's a course that's not part of your degree program, not in Viterbi, not in engineering, you would need to do a special request form to get approval for that to count as an elective, or if you're looking to make a substitution, you would need to put in a special request form for that to get it be approved or maybe denied, but you'd have to put in a request for that. Another student just asked about if they want to take a class from CS this summer, but yes, have to apply for our D clearance starting May 4th. What if the class is full? You'll need to put in the request. I would assume similar to EE, put in the request. They'll either add you to a wait list. They'll help them decide what the demand is and whether they can increase. But again, you know, Diane can work with our, you know, we can talk to CS to see if they'll be able to increase capacity or not. We can't guarantee anything, but we can certainly look into that. So I think similar program extension information session. Are there any recordings or PowerPoints for that? Patty, was that an OIS or a VACE event for the program extension information session?
I think Nora answered that earlier.
Okay.
Refer to the OIS website. They have upcoming sessions, or just email them if they have particular questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an OIS workshop.
Okay. So yeah. So please, yeah, refer to the OIS website. I know they have lots of information, lots of slides. And then
If I may just mention, I have to actually go to another meeting at the moment, but there was a question, we are getting questions, and I see one now about students that are contemplating going home or not, and whether or not they're gonna make it back and they're gonna be able to travel back. So like I mentioned earlier, every student is in their own situation. So I just encourage you to meet with your academic advisor to kind of talk about how you're progressing in your degree, how that would affect you if you can't make it back. Certainly, Viterbi is very committed to accommodating if you cannot travel back to the US or you can't travel back to USC. So, you know, we're going to work with you, but just know that, you know, you may not hear blanket statements from folks that say, yes, you can do this or you can do that. It really just depends on your individual situation in terms of what would work best for you. So I know I have to run, but I just wanted to quickly mention that before that. But thank you very much for having me, and I welcome you to kind of let us know if you have any additional questions, just to reach out.
Thanks, Nora, for joining us.
Thank you, Nora.
Another good question, but if summer courses are going to be online, will there be any reduction in fees? So will tuition cost any differently because you'll be doing an online course this summer? Not that I'm aware of. I haven't heard any discussions of that. I'm not sure if Diane has heard anything.
So this morning in our meeting, you know, this exact same thing came up, and our chair was asking, well, now that school is online, I mean, it begs the question, what do universities look like now? If everything is online, that's a huge question that only the university leadership can answer. What do universities look like now, and where are we going in the future? Summer will be, the fee structure is done. It will be maintained. We don't know what's coming out of central administration for the future of schools, the future of USC, where we'll be, where the world will be, and how things will be adjusted. But that was a big question this morning, is, you know, students are paying big money at USC for online courses. Now, what does that mean in the bigger scheme of things? I don't know, but know that summer will be the fee structure that is in the schedule of classes.
I think we've covered most of the questions that have appeared in the chat box for now. But I think we can spend some more time on other questions. Come, best way to schedule advisement. Hopefully you know who your assigned advisor is. So just to go over it again, it's info on our website. If your you're a master's student, if your last name ends in A through G, Ryan Pineda is your assigned advisor. If your last name ends in H through L, Gabby Garcia. Jaime Zalata handles students with last names M through V, and myself, Sam Graves, I work with students whose last names end W through Z. So I'd encourage you to email your advisor to set up a time to chat. We can do Zoom appointments, but coordinate what might be a best time to have an advisement session.
And I think, Sam, there was a question that came earlier asking if fall 2020 will be online as well. Do we know anything about fall?
No, I think we're just putting out positive vibes that it's going to be in person at USC until we hear otherwise. But so as of now, it's only summer that the university has ruled and gave out information. You will find out when we find out. But as far as we know, we're planning to come back to campus.
And I mean, I'm just, asking this as I see question that pops up from other students. I don't know if they're able to make it to this meeting or not, but are the faculty considering making the final like a project based instead of a regular exam? As like a lot of students have internet connectivity problems, or that kind of stuff. Is the department considering something like that?
Yeah, I think it's, faculty as a whole are given a wide range of options on how they want to grade their course, how they want to adjust their course, how they want to assess their course. And all of this has been left up to the faculty in terms of, will they have a project? Will you have a final exam? How many midterms will you have? Some people have 2-3 midterms. One person has 1 midterm. That's all very left up to the faculty in charge of the course, teaching the course, to decide. So if you have an issue with the final exam or taking the final exam, or you have internet issues or connectivity issues, and you find that you're not able to perform in a final exam setting, I would urge you to bring this up with the faculty member. Copy me on this. Copy me on your question. Give them reasons why this is particularly challenging for you. I can't promise that they're going to change the structure of the class or the assessment of the class for one student, but maybe there's 15 students that don't have connectivity. Maybe there's something else we can do. This is all uncharted territory, and the faculty are open and they're willing, and our chair is absolutely supportive of every kind of dynamic and creative solutions. So ask the faculty who's teaching your course, tell them what your issues are, and I'm sure that we can come to some solution, some compromise that might enable you to be able to be successful in the course.
Thank you.
I don't know if that answered the question, Kathy.
I will definitely like communicate that, have students communicate with their faculty and don't feel like that is something they have to resolve by themselves.
No, they can't resolve it by themselves.
Yeah.
They have to talk to the faculty and copy me, because it would be interesting for me to know also how the faculty is viewing this and what the issues are, because that's another thing, is we don't know how many people have issues and what the issues are, because everybody's situation is unique.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think
a question just got asked in the chat, and I kind of wanted to, it kind of is related because it makes me suspicious that we're in the same class as the anonymous person that just posted, or the comment that was just posted. There's been a lot of speculation in terms of classes. I know that the last 3 midterms I've taken all have been unmonitored, and there's a lot of room for students to be doing whatever they want. And I'm not saying that they are, but as we've seen from trends, like students have been posting in the ECE Piazza that like midterm grades are like the averages are spiking. Like for my last midterm, 50% of the class got over 95% on that test. And so I guess I'm just asking, how has there been any discussion in terms of the faculty to talk about kind of the possibility of I don't really know how to ask this question, but like students that cheat on tests, if there are students that cheat on tests, are set up in a really good environment to cheat even further. And for students that are being honest on their tests and are working hard to study, and are reliant on the curve, don't have like the same chance to do as well as those students, like if we were to speculate. And so how is this taken into accommodation, and kind of like how is this being considered right now by the faculty?
So the answer is that I don't know, number one. Number two, it's a topic of conversation. We talked about it this morning, as a matter of fact. All of this stuff is so dynamic and happening right now. Our chair mentioned, he said, look, we know that cheating is happening. We're hoping that it happens less than we think it's happening, but we don't really know, and we won't really know until we see the results. Faculty are pretty smart about determining whether a course, someone has collaborated on the course or cheated based on either homework or midterm grades or interaction or whatever evidence they have. So they know that there's a possibility there for this to take place, and they're very aware of it. Now, what they're doing specifically, I'm not sure, but I can bring this up to our chair, and I can ask him, I can push him and say, so what about the student who doesn't cheat and the student who does cheat on an exam? How is that going to be differentiated? How is that going to be taken into account? My gut feeling is that it depends on the course. It depends on the topic. It depends on the type of exam you're doing. But if you have specifics, if you have worries about things, maybe you've seen things already, maybe a midterm came back lower or came back higher, like you said your midterm came back higher than the overall average than you suspected, email me and I can anonymize it if you want. But these are things that the faculty know are happening, but if they don't hear it from the student, they don't know it's really happening. You know what I mean?
Right. So I also did get the chance to actually, after a couple of weeks of trying to communicate with my professor, I kind of confronted him in office hours, and we got to talk a little bit on kind of like a one-on-one basis. But so I did bring that up to him, and so he told me, I actually took his third midterm today, this morning. It was really difficult, but his solution to kind of curbing cheating was to shorten the exam time and to make the exam even harder, which was even more difficult since this third midterm was probably the culmination of like maybe the hardest concepts in the course. At what point, also I mentioned to him the criteria for pass, no pass, and he said that he didn't know that it was a B or above, but now he knows. But at what point does the faculty, or not the faculty, does the department step in where the professor can't provide? I don't know if that's a good way of phrasing it, but.
So we step in all the time. You just don't know about it. So every time a student complains, the department steps in, meaning I funnel all these complaints up through the associate chairs all the way to the chair. Sometimes they act, they talk to the faculty. All of this is going on behind the scenes all the time. So sometimes it warrants an intervention. Sometimes it doesn't, in their estimation, of course. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the chair will get back to the student directly and say, hey, I'm looking into this. Thank you for your input, if the student has not anonymized everything. So we're stepping in all the time with every complaint that comes across my desk, with every concern. It may not even be a complaint. It's just a question. How are we going to curb cheating online? You know, everything goes up to the department. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to say, nothing is not important enough when it comes to a student's real concern.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do we have any questions that we missed in the chat? I think Michael has a specific question for Diane. I don't know if that's something you guys want to discuss offline, or it says, if the course is already approved by the articulation agreement as course to course transfer, do I still need to do a pre-approval form?
No, this is for undergraduate coursework, and if it has an articulation agreement and course to course, if you found a course that satisfies it, it's already been approved by USC. So it's only when you're taking a course somewhere else this is the third physics I think we talked about. If it's got if there's an articulation agreement, you don't need a pre-approval form. It's only when there's no articulation agreement that you need the pre-approval form. Ryan and Sam and Jaime and Gabby can step in if I'm misspeaking at all.
Diane, you're correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Thanks.
I thought Michael was clear on this 100% already. We've gone over this a number of times.
It's
But
okay.
but yes, Michael, once the course has been accepted by the university as part of our articulation agreement, and it is in your STARS report, we can use it as a transfer.
Good. It's always good to redo. Okay. Anything else?
So, any questions from anyone? So I just want to emphasize to all the students, this is what I've been telling you guys via Piazza. Your advisors are very resourceful, and they're always there to help you. So if you have any concern in the future, don't feel afraid to bring it up or, feel like you have to deal with it on your own. Today during this session, it's proven again how, how much your advisor cares for you and how much they can help you. And I also have, I also want to introduce some senators, EE senators from VGSA. I believe Shane, Canby, and ET, they are like this EE student senators. They are also on this chat, and they also have, different resources that they can help you guys with. And I don't know if any of you guys want to kind of introduce yourself or just, share what VGSA can do for the students at times like this. Candy, are you still online? Or Eating or Shane?
I just wanted to throw in, we're happy to host, a few more of these, a couple more of these, in the upcoming weeks. And if there's any topics or special guests, I'm thinking it might be good, we could bring somebody in from Viterbi Career Connections to do a session, somebody from OIS. Please share with myself, any of the advisors, or Kathy, and we're happy to, arrange if we've got, a week or so lead time. Happy to do this. Happy to do this again and have a general session. It's great to get your questions.
I just saw a question. I'm kind of scrolling through these. Best way to schedule advisement. If you're an undergraduate, you go through the my.usc.edu portal for your advisement. If you're a graduate student, email is the best way to find your advisor and schedule an advisement appointment.
Actually, Diane, I also have one more question that I just remember that student raised via Piazza. Like, I think during normal school time, a lot of students, they cooperate with, students from other departments to start a project. And during times like this, it seems, everyone is not only, isolated by themselves, but kind of department too. So if they want to do something with other department or other schools, is there like a platform or a channel they can reach out to? Or
I mean, I don't know what other departments and other schools are doing. I think it would be an individual thing that each student would have to, we don't have anything institutional set up. An individual student would have to reach out to that individual student if they're working on projects. For example, our rocket propulsion lab is very interdisciplinary. This is an undergraduate club, and it's very interdisciplinary. They must have their own platform that they've developed and that they communicate through. For individual students, I would just urge you to keep reaching out to students, keep reaching out to departments. If you're not able to reach out to the student, you can always reach out to the department. I think all of the departments really at Viterbi, and Patty can jump in here if you want. All of the departments at Viterbi are online and available to students if there's interdisciplinary work or action or research going on.
Okay.
So we had another comment. A student mentions that they had their internship presented for summer. Sorry to hear that. Career fairs tomorrow, but the companies don't seem too focused on tech careers. Will there be more opportunities that USC might facilitate with more attractive employers? VGSA sent out that the Viterbi Career Connections is sending student resumes to employers who are hiring this Friday. If you haven't done so already, please add your resume to the resume book on Viterbi Career Gateway. For any other career guidance, please reach out to the Viterbi Career Connection. So Yeah, I don't know if any of us on this call can, maybe, I don't know if Patty really, that it sounds like Viterbi Career Connections is trying to do all they can to work with students, guys, that a lot of them are in kind of difficult situations with summer employment. But I think VASE and the Career Connections office are doing what they can. I'm not sure I'm really answering your question, but I appreciate you bringing that up to the group's attention.
Yeah,
I was just going to say one more thing. Sorry, Patty. This is what the faculty were talking about. If you find that you are not employed on CPT for the summer because your internship was rescinded, then this might be an opportunity where the faculty could help with either directed research or a competition or something through VASE, free programming that they will be doing with the faculty for students who are here and possibly out of an internship for the summer.
Yeah, I just want to add, if your internship got rescinded or there's issues with that you're having with the internship with regards to the COVID-19 pandemic, then I would highly recommend that you reach out to Viterbi Career Connections, and they can assist. VASE works closely with Viterbi Career Connections, so that would be your first step. If there is any issue with your internship or if you have any concerns, then reach out to Viterbi Career Connections.
Okay, so we're about minute past 1. So I guess we're just, gonna continue to collect a lot of your thoughts and your concern. And like Sam mentioned before, we can always, host something like this to address you guys' question. And we're also trying to, get more ideas from you guys, like what kind of information will be helpful for you guys, or Zoom chat, like if you guys want a special person from OIS to be here to explain visa issue or anything like that, just let us know. Like, we're really here to help you guys. And I want to thank all the advisors for coming, and thank you, Patty, and earlier Nora, and all of the students, to be here today. And this is going to be an ongoing effort. It doesn't just stop here. Our help is gonna be, be for you guys all the time. So yeah, if we don't have any more questions today, Diane, do you have anything to say before we end this, or like any advisor, do you guys have anything to add?
No, just be well and keep connected. Continue to reach out for us. And Gabby's posting information. Encouraged to read daily the Viterbi School COVID-19 FAQs. That's online and very helpful, and it's being updated daily. And again, if you're having problems connecting with your faculty, your TAs, copy one of the advisors on your correspondence, and we can always help. And no problem is too small for us to kind of help facilitate or bring to the attention of the faculty or the chairs. Like Everett was asking about, no problem is really too small. So be well, and thank you for having me, and we hope to do this again. Thank you, Sam, and all the advisors, and Kathy for arranging this. This is great.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Remember to email us if you have any problems with admissions, not admissions, with registration, declearances, anything like that, because we can, again, like Diane said, we can pass it on to the right office if we don't have the information right away.
Thank you, everybody. Stay safe and well, and have a good weekend.
Yeah, okay.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck going into finals. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.